Welcome to the next episode of Two Amazing People. This week I'm seeing Vicky, who runs Ethiqs, which is a law firm that specialises in tech industries. Vicky was nominated as Gabs' amazing person, Gabriella, who we saw in episode 2, and I'm so happy that the weather's nice again because we film all of these outside and the sun is shining. It's a lovely hot day. Vicky's actually picked a really nice spot for us to have a chat, and I'm just coming up to her door now. She's about to say hello.
Hello, Anthony.
Hi, Vicky.
How are you?
I'm alright. Are you ready for your podcast?
Nervous, but ready.
You'll be alright. Should we go through?
Yes, please come through.
Go on in.
Your own voice, and I listened to something the other day which was quite interesting actually. Someone talking about why does your own voice sound so silly to you when you hear it, and it was all about there's some bone in your head.
Yeah.
So it actually ricochets against that bone, and you hear when you hear it. So you hear it completely differently than other people hear it.
Yeah.
And when you hear it with like other people hear it, it sounds so silly.
Yeah.
Hello.
You want to do it?
Yeah. Go.
So I'll explain what it is. So I've prepared some questions.
I hope I can answer them.
Yeah, you'll be alright. So about you. So the setup is we have 30 minutes to go through these questions, and then hopefully we get through them all. And if we don't, we don't. If we go over a little bit, we go over a little bit, and that's it. That is that simple.
Sounds too simple.
Should we go for it?
Yeah.
All right. So I better do my presenter voice now to my camera. I've got to do a clap as well to get it, because that links to cameras.
Oh.
Hi, Vicky.
Hello, how are you?
Absolutely hunky-dory. Excited.
Thank you
You're
for bringing
excited.
the sun to us today. Yes.
That's right. So, should we crack in? You know what this is about because I've just explained it.
Yeah.
And you're nervous?
Yes.
You should be, because these are really hard questions. No, they're not. So, I just read down them, and it is simple. So, the first one is a really nice one. So, you were nominated as an amazing person by Gabriella. How did it feel to hear that someone sees you that way?
Amazing.
See, that's a nice start, isn't it?
That's a nice start.
It's not a hard one.
Amazing. I've been friends with her for a while now, and she's such a force of nature. And I think she knows so many people.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to know that she thinks of me that way. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. Just think of all the other people that see it and go, hold on a minute, why wasn't I invited as the amazing person, Gabs? So no, it's good. See, easy one. And now I've got one that might not be so easy. Well, it won't be, it'll be all right. So I've asked, what first made you want to work in law? Because that's what you do. Mm-hmm. And later, specifically now, because you work specifically with tech businesses. Mm-hmm. So where did that all start?
I think I found the idea of law interesting when I was studying. A little known fact is that I was studying medicine in my first year.
Was you?
Yeah, I was. I thought I wanted to be a doctor. Absolutely hated it. And changed courses. So I think I did a lot of introspection then at that time to think, what am I good with and what do I enjoy? And I think from the word go, law was just, for me, I loved it. I loved the information. I loved, I'm not so much the person who's going to be in court fighting for someone, but I love the information and digesting that and making something of it and giving an opinion about it and generally guiding businesses. That's really where I found my niche, I would say, and that comes into the technology bit of it. Helping businesses is what I love, is to bring law and business together and make it palatable for the normal person, because generally law is this big monstery awful thing and people don't want anything to do with it unless something has really gone wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do, is to make that as something in your business that actually accelerates your business instead of just being a monster to you.
So you didn't pick something easy, because first off you started then with medicine, then law, and then you combined law with tech.
Yeah, so how the tech happened is I had a client who is a multi-billion-dollar national, And at that stage, they were doing aviation and marine and some sat nav in your car.
Mm-hmm.
And that has now morphed many years later into wearable technology. And that sparked my interest in the beginning, and then got involved with more tech companies, because you know how they say one client draws another, right? So once I was there, then people started knowing that I was interested in tech and I knew things about tech, and it just developed from there. And what I like about it is it's so diverse. Every day is different. So you could literally work with someone who's developing for like a game for the Fortnite platform, to Internet of Things tomorrow, to SaaS products. And it's really diverse, and it's always a little different, which is nice. You need to think about it. It's not just something that you pull off the shelf.
Yeah, but that's nice, isn't it? You have to be challenged, because otherwise it gets boring.
Absolutely.
I doubt it ever gets boring. So,
no, there's no time for boring.
and you've used some words that I've used in my next question, so that's good. Shows that hopefully I've done some research. So I'm asking, so why is it so important to you to make legal advice simple and easy for people to understand? Because that's something that you put on your LinkedIn.
I hope I do. I think I do. I think I've got it there to say that we try to use plain language and make it accessible to businesses, because I think there's the big gap lies in that for me. And when I started ethics, that was one of the drivers for me. At that stage, the statistics said that 30% of businesses will never access any lawyer or solicitor, because they perceive it to be negative and too expensive. So they won't even call, they won't even ask, and they'll just get along
Try and
without
fumble through without it.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah, and obviously that gets you in hot water.
Yeah.
So it's got this opposite effect. And that's where I felt like there was a gap. Number one, for business, and number two, for technology businesses, because generally technology solicitors are in the top 10 law firms, and they are very, very expensive and not accessible. And that's where we came in and said, well, we want to make it understandable, because there's no point in you having something that is supposed to be a business driver, a contract, your terms and conditions or whatever, that you're actually so scared of that you're not reading it because you think you won't understand.
It should be a tool, shouldn't it? That's essentially what it is.
Yes.
Contract, a tool to facilitate what you need it to do.
Yep, 100%.
And if you ignore it or don't look at it, then surely that doesn't help.
100%. Can I get you to market for us?
There you go. I am. This is it. This is it. This is the marketing. Okay, well that's all good. So I've got other ones like that as well, but we'll go for here. And with this, I should have said at the start, just talk about whatever you want to talk about, Vicky. If there's anything you sort of go, oh, I don't want to talk about that, then just go, I don't want to talk about that. It's all good. But this bit for the 30 minutes, I don't cut it and I don't edit it other than switching between the shots.
Okay.
So just what you say goes out.
Okay.
I should have said that at the beginning.
You should have said that at the beginning.
But now you have, so it's all good. Anyway, I'll move on to the next one. So when you think about the work that you do, what part of it makes you feel the proudest?
I think when we help a business, when my clients start to see us as a partner in the business, instead of seeing us as that grudge purchase of like, oh, it has to go to the lawyers. And I think I had something just this week actually, where we are negotiating a contract and it's going up and down and up and down. And my clients are used to the way that I'm working, and hopefully adding value to the business, and not just commenting on a contract because I have to comment on a contract, but actually, to make it work for the business. And the other side's lawyer has got a very different view of things. It makes it very theoretically perfect, but it doesn't work for the business operationally. Yeah. And they commented on that. So that's always really nice for me. That's something that makes me proud.
Do you find that with your approach where you're trying to simplify it, is there a tendency for other companies, other people in law to overcomplicate it, do you feel?
Absolutely. I have to be careful how I say with
you say as you like.
But yeah, I think for a long time, because law is a very niche profession. So I think for a very long time, the more difficult it looks, the more niche it is, and people won't attempt it themselves. And I think we've come to a crossroads now with AI, where people are starting to think, well, wait a minute, I can do this myself. And I don't believe that will ever happen, though, fully. Yes, you can have ChatGPT draft you a contract, but you need the back knowledge. And I see that as positive, because I think that I can then add so much more value to my client. And if my client understands what I'm doing for them and the product that I'm giving them, and they can use that to better their business, then I've achieved my goal.
So that's the point, isn't it? You need to add your experience into it.
Yes.
But then, this isn't one of the questions, but just where you're talking about emotions of it, do you think that emotions should be in a contract or completely out of it? Do they come into it at all or not?
I guess in the negotiations, there's definitely emotions. I think it's my job to take the emotions out. It's my job to make it practical and operational, just like you would with anything, a building contract or a building scope of work or anything like that. You won't make that emotional, right? So I think it's my job to make it practical, not emotional.
Yeah. But that's the bit that AI can't match, isn't it? The feeling, and when you're talking to a client, you get that sense of actually what they want from the contract.
Sure. That relationship and the nuances between the client, that's what you mean,
yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I go back to that feeling, that emotions, but the feeling that you get, because as we said, the contract's there, it's a tool. It's not just a straight black and white. I guess it becomes that, but it's a tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And perhaps with the AI, and this is where the personal side will always stay, the AI doesn't have that.
Yes.
So it is important to have.
It is important.
Have a person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the personal element makes it even better. And if lawyers start using AI correctly, it's always going to need you and your knowledge. And you can actually then apply your mind to that much better because you've got the time freed up now to do so.
But it should be a tool. That's what we're saying with
Absolutely.
AI. It's a tool. It's not the thing that does everything.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
I've got one on tech and tools down here. I just remembered it's in there. Okay, so another one for you on my list. Can you share a story about a time you felt you made a difference for someone through your work? A big difference, the one that kind of sticks with you.
The first one that sticks with
Without
me,
names, sorry, you don't need
really,
to do names.
sure. The first one I think that sticks with me is my client winning a tender. They won a massive tender, and they came back to me and said, well, we don't believe that we would have won this without you, because of the input I gave throughout the negotiations, because of the things I saw, because of my experience in the arena and in the area. And that was really nice. That was really nice to see. That was such a positive thing for the business to have me on board.
And it's not, I always think that's always the one moment, but then it creates ripple effects, doesn't it, as well? So they've won that contract, and I'm guessing it was a sizable one.
Yeah.
And then that meant that they could possibly grow their business or take people on or give people in their business pay rises and all the rest of it.
Absolutely.
So that one thing, it might affect one person, but then it just kind of ripples out to
made
others.
their whole business more sustainable as well.
Yeah, that's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, that was really nice.
So no wonder you're proud about it. Hey? So I keep on talking about stories on here, but I like this one because I've asked a few people on this. Not that you've seen because they've not gone live yet, but they will. What's one thing you've learned about people by working so closely with businesses?
I think I've seen that nice people who have the right passion are a lot more successful than awful people. Even if they have drive and they do all the right things and they talk the talk, they just don't. They're just not that successful because they don't take the people along with them. While those who are nice people with the right drive and passion, they tend to take their team with them and grow their team with them and have a great impact on everybody around them.
Yeah, but it is, though, isn't it? Because we were talking before we started filming just about just working with nice people, just good, honest, nice people that you want to spend time with, and you want to help, and they want to help you, and it just attracts that positivity and whatnot. It does enough fuel you with the right energy.
Absolutely, and it makes you want to work harder for them. It makes you want to do more and to give them more benefits.
Yeah, because you care. Like, you actually really care. It's not a straight contract. I've got to do this. That's what I provided, and off I go. It's like you're invested in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it is a rule, and I will drop a D word about and Daryl, you know Daryl, and he says about no dickheads allowed on the bus.
I like that.
But it is, though, isn't it? And that's for networking world, but I think it's for your business as well. That this is your business that you have, you get to choose who you work with, and isn't it nice that you can choose to work with nice people
It
rather
really
than
is,
not?
and and you don't think about that when you start growing your business. Like
No,
you're not going to say no to
so it's
somebody
scary to
who
say,
wants it.
oh, that's a massive contract, but I don't particularly like this person, but I'll say yes because I need to, and then you regret
Yeah,
it ever since
yeah.
because you're like, this person's
Because if it's
driving me
difficult in the
crazy.
beginning, and that I've learned the hard way, like if it's difficult in the beginning from the word go, it's
Yeah,
going to be more difficult later on.
yeah,
And sometimes you do much larger contracts and projects for people who are nice, and it doesn't feel like it's hard work because you enjoy working with them.
but that's it. But that's the lesson, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I'd say it's as much of this podcast is about finding out about you and the people that are on it. It's also for the people that are watching, that they can listen to the experiences and the stories that you tell. And so we're here saying about working with nice people, and I'm pretty sure that would resonate with people watching, that would go, well, that's so true, because I work with these people and they're horrible, and I wish I never said yes. And now I know that it's okay to say no to those people and just to be more selective.
Yeah.
But it is scary, especially when you're at startup stage or you're in a position where you've started to grow your business. And with growth, you need more clients, and then you're saying no to clients whilst
Yeah.
trying to grow your business.
Yeah.
It's a funny
Yeah.
dynamic.
Yeah, you don't think that those two go together, really.
No, but they should do, because that's what, personally, that's what I feel fuels your business growth as well, and helps you to retain people. The fact that everyone can see that you've got good morals in your business and you want to do things the right way and enjoy it. So I think it's really important.
That's true.
It is really important. This one I wish was a bit further back because you touched on it, but we'll go for it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, because it's
Did
something.
I mess up your flow?
Yes. No, I messed my flow up, I think, because I thought this will flow nicely in the numbers, but this is the point. I don't know where the conversation goes, but it was on legal documents, actually, contracts. And I've put on, put on here, in my simple language, legal documents are often full of big words, which I think they are.
Yeah.
What made you want to change that and write in plain language instead? Because plain language is something that you've also put on on your LinkedIn. Actually, I think it's in the first line about simplifying it, plain language.
So I think many moons ago, I got my degree, and I continued studying until I had my daughter, actually, and then I kind of I'm not studying as
It
much
derails you a little
anymore.
bit,
Right?
does it?
It does, yes.
It's a little bit of a distraction. These children running around.
Correct. But I've tried to do one course every year after that, and one of the things that I kind of branched into was I love contracts, so I did a further study into drafting contracts in particular. I had a wonderful professor, and there's a plain language movement which he is part of, and that started probably 20 years ago or so, or even more. I'm not 100%, but that's when I got to know about it, about 20 years ago. And he used to say, like, why don't you just say what you want to say? Does it make, and if you look at what you're saying, big words, generally there's a lot of Latin. There used to be a lot of Latin in contracts. Why? Because if you are reading it, you don't know what it means. So does it have the impact that it should have, or could I say that in an easier way? And by that, I'm not saying that you should water down your contracts to the extent that they don't have legal force. Absolutely not. But there is a way to draft it easier and plainer and simpler for people to understand. And you have to also think about who the parties are. For instance, if you have HR employment contract, you need to take what the average knowledge of that person is around contracts will be different when you've got a manager in a business, or MD or somebody like that who's used to negotiating contracts. So make it accessible for someone to be able to pick up that document and say, oh, okay, I know what this clause says, I understand, and make it as easy as possible for someone to access and to use.
Does it? Because sometimes this is only my naive view on it. If you were to simplify the language within the contract, does it simplify the contract as in what it's actually there for, or not?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by
So
that.
if you if you go back to here, so a plain big words, Latin, but then your whole approach is,
let's say, if there's no Latin, does it make it less of a good contract?
yeah,
No.
or if you're simplifying the language in it,
Yeah.
and so does it take away from what the contract is trying to achieve?
No, absolutely not. And that's
Because
the
that would
point.
be the worry that I'd think people would go, well, if
Yeah.
you're simplifying it and putting in
And I've had that. I've had
shorter
clients.
sentences and words, does it then not have the same impact that it should do. That
That's
was
where
more to the
good
point.
drafting and bad drafting comes in.
Mm.
Okay, and that's why I'm saying right now AI to me is not there yet.
Yeah.
Because you can simplify it to the extent, yes, that it doesn't have the meaning that it should have, and it doesn't have the legal effect that it should have anymore. But if you're a good drafter, and drafting is something I really enjoy,
Yeah.
so every now and again I make sure that I am the drafter of
So that's just
some
Saturday
good
afternoon, is it?
agreements.
Just you guys go and watch Britain's Got Talent. I'm going to draft a contract.
Because that's hard work.
Yeah.
You know, lots of people use precedents from years gone by, and they will just take the precedent and complete a few words or whatever. We don't do that. We've built up our own precedents, and it's an ongoing task always to simplify and make it understandable.
Yeah.
So no, it doesn't take away as long as you draft well. And as I say, if you've got the knowledge about the law, then you know what should be in there, and it's possible.
So even though you simplified it, you've still, this is the whole point, isn't it, of doing this? Because I think anyone that watching it goes, well, that's brilliant. So you're going to make it much easier for me to understand if I'm not a professional in law.
Correct.
I've got the same protection, but I can still pick it up and understand it and read it.
And use it. And
not have to go, well, I've got a 100-page contract here and I haven't got a clue what it says.
Exactly. And we've even found it to be a bit of a sales tool, because it makes the salesperson or the marketing team's job easier. Because now they've got a contract, when someone reads it, they say, oh, I'll sign that. Yeah. They might have one thing where they say, operationally, I can't do this, or I can't stick to those periods or time frames or something like that. But generally, it gets through the process so much faster because people can actually read and understand.
Which is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't all get clogged up and slow down, right?
Correct.
There you go. So you're onto something.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so. Well, talking about being excited and doing this, and I find it interesting with business because your company's nearly 7 years old now.
Yeah.
I think so. There you go. And some people really enjoy doing it, and then other people get bogged down and want to change and all the rest of it. So one question, because it clearly comes out, is what keeps you feeling excited and motivated about the work you do, even when it gets challenging?
I think that adding value, having nice customers, and trying, I think with technology, to stay at the forefront of things.
Yeah.
You know, that's a challenge by itself, to keep up with AI developments and the technology developments. But those are the things that really excite me, because every week with technology is different. You know, as clients grow, and last week I had a really interesting site visit with clients who's got an Internet of Things product. I can't give too much details, unfortunately, but really exciting, and that energizes me. You know, say it's not something you pull off the shelf. It's not something that's going to be necessarily easy to draft or easy to get your head around. So that challenge, I enjoy that.
I think that you're absolutely bang on, because one thing that will always exist is contracts, and one thing that will always be evolving is tech.
Yeah.
So it does help to keep it really interesting, because what you've got is contracts, and then you're always trying to apply it to a very fast moving industry.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, not surprising, it keeps you on your toes, hey? All right, well, look, let me see on time. Oh, we're doing all right. We're doing all right. And I've said this many times, I was always worried about doing Gabs's one because we were going to run over. So,
and did you?
Yeah, of course we did. But we're doing all right. So we're okay. We're all right on time. There's a few more on it. So looking back, we kind of touched on it, I guess. Is there a project or a moment that stands out as a real highlight for you? And I think you touched on it with the person that was the big contract.
Yes. If I can add to that, because we've already touched on that, I think something that stands out in my career for me was, I was quite young when I was lucky enough to be promoted to head of a legal department for an international telecommunications company. And that was amazing, because again, it was the first, so it was the first smartphones in the world. It was the first apps developed for smartphones in the world. So again, and you know, that my career just kind of happened around the tech.
Yeah, but it's great, wasn't it?
But that was great,
because you still said it with a smile on your face.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time. It was really something interesting and nice to be involved in, and to kind of be you know, first at it. Yeah, something that stands out for me.
And it still lives with you now.
Yep,
that's the point, isn't it? All right, so this one again, I like to ask, because it helps, again, people that are watching. So I'm hoping that obviously it helps you guys, the amazing people that come on, but also the people watching, because it's not always rosy. And I said about challenging times, and I can resonate with this because I know I have plenty of these. So have you ever had a moment where you've doubted yourself or your path? And how did you get through it?
How
Many
many
times?
times? I just
Yeah,
want to say,
this
how
is it
many
though, isn't it?
times? Like, how many times do you doubt yourself, or do you think, should you just go and get a job, or all this nonsense with the business? Because running a business, as you know very well, is
Yeah,
is a hard job by itself,
yeah,
and especially if I still try to be in the business as well and do some of it, because it's what I enjoy and what energizes me. Yeah, it gets tough sometimes. I think I'm generally quite a positive person, and that's probably what's carried me through. I think the fact that I was that we're able to move countries, that's not something that's easy to do.
no,
Set up a new life and start over, essentially. If you can do that, you can do anything. That's my opinion of it. But yeah, I think it's just about being in the moment. So some days you're down, some days it's hard, and you're allowed to cry, and you're allowed to be upset, and you're allowed to doubt. And then tomorrow you have to get up and be positive and carry on. Or a few days later, give yourself the space to say, yeah, sometimes it's tough, but then pick yourself up and carry on. And I think that's very much how I grew up,
yeah.
and my philosophy in life.
I think it's what some people don't understand is that it's okay to have doubt.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not any better or worse at what you do. Your confidence can be up here, it can be down there. Your business can be up here, it can be down there. It's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be shiny, shiny, amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's what is really important for people to see, is because from the outside, especially when you talk about amazing people, you look at it and go, well, they're so happy and their business is so successful and their social media is all so shiny and look how great it is and always smiling and all of these things. And you kind of go, well, that's not me. But the reality is, and it's not to say you should be showing it all on social media, that every single person goes through those ups and downs and has to doubt and
And I
thinks
think
about getting a job.
that's when your amazing
That's it.
people
Hey?
carries you through, right? That's the day that I can pick up the phone to Gabs or my amazing people and say, today is not a good day for me, or this
Yeah,
week has been really tough, and
yeah. I just need a little bit of space and
yeah.
just to breathe, recharge, and go again.
Yeah,
But
and then this is not something completely outside of this, I guess, but good people can change your week. So I had a really, really tough week, and my daughter said after school, can we go past McDonald's and just have a little McDonald's, as we shouldn't have.
of course you should. Why not?
But here we go. So we are in the McDonald's queue, and I've had a really tough week. And I get to the window, and the lady says, "Oh, the guy in front has paid your order, ma'am. You
Oh,
don't
really?
have to pay." And it wasn't about the money at all, but
The gesture.
it just made my week. It made me feel like, you know what? After this rough week I've had, there's good people out there, and he really changed my day.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, really
Hey?
nice, really nice, unexpected.
God, if you had known, though, you would have ordered a lot more food. Rather than just a strawberry milkshake or something, you'd have gone to town. And then he probably looked in his mirrors and thought, "There's only two people. It'll be £10. I'll be fine. You'll be all right." No, but it's, I like that. It's really nice. So we've only got 3 questions left. Is that right?
Yeah, good.
Cool. So again, we've kind of covered it, but I think it's important to go over. So has working with tech companies changed the way you think about learning, growing, and adapting? Because tech
Definitely.
companies, they have to be on it, don't they? If they stand still, they're behind.
Absolutely. And I think that goes very well together with what energizes me. That's the reason why I really enjoy working with tech, because it's never the same. You can have 2 software development companies, and you would think that it's going to be exactly the same, but it's not, because it's such a dynamic thing. One would do it this way, and one would do it another way. And that makes it interesting and keeps it fresh. So you have to keep evolving and keep your mind fresh, and also just the way that you look at things. So it's not a stagnant thing that you're going to say, well, if we've done this for 15 years and the contract still looks exactly the same, because as the tech changes, there's little things in the contracts that changes with it.
And you bring that into your own business, I guess, as well, isn't it? Because you'd then be thinking, like you just said there, we've been doing this for the last 5 years. Surely we've got to adapt. and change how we approach things.
Yeah,
So you do take less. I'm a big one for listening and learning off of everyone, whether it's to think I'm not going to do that or I'm definitely going to do that. You learn good and bad, don't you?
Yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah.
perfect. So these last two are about you, if that's all right. But the whole thing's been about you. These ones are about you. So when someone finishes working with you, what do you hope they feel?
I hope they feel that I've added value more than just the price they paid for goods, and that I helped their business and that I was a part of their team that added value.
Yeah. So they feel, ultimately, they feel happy.
Yeah.
That's kind of, because if they felt unhappy, that kind of covers a lot of things. But if they come away generally feeling that was a good experience,
Yeah.
that's a nice thing to leave them with.
Yes.
Right. And finally, well, it's not finally because there's more questions, but not on here. So when you think about the difference you're making, what's the one thing you hope people, not clients, people always remember about you?
Hmm.
And this goes into the world of networking because we've met networking before, haven't we?
I hope the fact that I'm generally positive. I'm positive, and I'll tackle anything, and I will give it a go. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
But I've sensed that when we've met 4 or 5 times, 6 times maybe, probably more than that. And I get that feeling from you.
That's nice to know.
Well, it's because you walk in with a smile on your face and you're happy and you always seem free to have a chat, which is nice because sometimes people walk into those rooms and they're head down and they're grumpy, which is also fine. But I've always seen you as somebody that I'm happy to have a chat with. That makes sense. Not,
It's nice to
oh
know.
no,
Thank
she's
you.
coming over and I've got to make conversation. I never get that. So I think that maybe has answered that one for you from my side of it.
Thank you. That's really nice to know. It's good feedback.
It's all right.
Something I've not said throughout this whole thing is my team. I think that's really important.
I
A
love how you
strong
adding it on at
team.
the end.
Yeah,
They
strong.
didn't go through for the last 35 minutes or 15 questions, but just add the team in.
I'm thinking about that. Like a good team really makes a
Yeah,
difference in a business as well, right? And
absolutely does.
that keeps the energy going if everybody does their part and you work with nice people.
Yeah, I always think it, getting a team is so hard to do, the right team and the right people. But then once you've built that team up, you wouldn't change a thing really, and like you do anything for them because ultimately I sort of think they're a little bit of a mirror image of you in that moment. And if you're positive, happy, and excited, and all these words that you've used as well, they will be as well. And when you've got that, that's really strong and powerful. So yeah, team added in at the end. But no, that's it. So the final two are actually about trying to help you. So one of the questions that I ask always at the end is how can the people listening help you? This is your bit where the light really goes on you
Sure.
because that's the purpose. The whole thing is shining a light on amazing people. So how can people help you?
I think just about thinking about what kind of clients we want and like, and what can help grow our business. And that could be contacts, that could be referral partners for us. Often those are lawyers, actually, because not all law firms have a technology department. So often we get referrals from other law firms. And then obviously clients. Right now, there's a lot of tech companies out there that are winging it. They feel that they perhaps have to appoint an in-house person. We do that. So we are your in-house fractional general counsel. So we can do from 2 days to 10 days to whatever you need in your business. So that'll be nice if someone has any contact with or has a client that's a technology client, and know that they are at the stage where they are ready to have someone come and boost their business, really.
Yeah.
Help them win a tender, help them to get their things in order, to get a round of funding, for instance. Yeah, that's
And
great.
is that just UK wide? I'm guessing it's not.
Well, I'm qualified in South Africa as well, so
Yeah.
UK and South Africa is both good.
Because the technical companies, they generally are, because of the nature of it, it's global, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of them
So
are.
UK based, South African based, but operate globally as well.
Correct.
Well, that's got
Yeah.
quite a lot
Yeah.
of scope, hasn't it?
It does.
I think that'll be all right. I think surely somebody can help out with that, 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, that'll be great.
It would be amazing.
And also, if there's someone who wants to join our team, I'm always open to have a conversation. So we work with consultancy, and I've got quite a few really good people, GDPR, technology, commercial. So always happy to speak to people who are interested in joining our team.
Cool. Leads me to the last one. So this is how it works. Somebody nominated you, Gabs, and now it's your chance to nominate your 2 amazing
That's
people.
nerve-wracking, right?
No, it's not. No, but it's lovely because you get to say who these 2 people are and why they're amazing to you. I think it's a really nice thing to be able to do for them.
And
So go
obviously,
for it.
to be able to do this needs to be people in the UK, right? Or do you do this remotely as well?
No, yes, no.
Okay, I'll give you my 2 people.
No, so I've committed. I don't think I've said this actually on camera. So I've committed to wherever they are in the UK, I will go to.
Okay.
To do it in person.
Okay.
I
think you just want nice holidays by the sea, right?
Yeah, great. If somebody wants to pay me to travel to Dubai,
you can do that.
I will do that. Yeah, but no, I've committed to doing the podcast until we have generated £100 million for businesses, amazing people.
Okay.
And I've committed to traveling. So wherever you say they are, if they are in Scotland, which one of these people are, for the next, I think, two episodes time, then I'm going to Scotland.
Nice.
So that's my commitment. So yeah.
Okay. So I won't send you to Malta then.
No, but
wait,
you can.
No, I just wanted to say.
If you just ring your amazing person and go, I've nominated you for the podcast, there is a catch, you have to pay for him to travel. Then that's also fine. But no.
Got it. So the one is Amanda Williams.
Yeah.
Who has been working with me for some time now. She's a data protection and GDPR specialist. And she's a really great person. Really amazing person. Yes.
Perfect.
And the other one is my husband.
Yeah.
Vicky Grobbelaar.
And you're allowed
what can I say? Well,
what can you say? Go for it.
Yeah. So Louis is in financial services. Fantastic strategist, and good person. Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Great dad and a good husband.
See, that's okay, isn't it? He'll do. Will he do?
He'll do.
I think so. That's a nice place to leave it.
Thank you very much.
Was that as bad as you thought it would be?
Anthony. No.
You see, it's not, is it?
Although I think I said absolutely 100 times.
So I've just finished my conversation with Vicky, and what a lovely lady she is, and also how knowledgeable she is on the subject, which I guess she should be because she's been doing it practically all of her life. My big takeaway is how she makes me feel about law and contracts, because it is quite scary for somebody who's not an expert in law and contracts, and she puts me at ease. And I would hope that anybody listening and watching that is in that position where they need somebody like Vicky feels the same way and picks up the phone or emails and contacts her, because that's the point. So look, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed listening to Vicky, because she is the amazing person, the hero of the show. And tune in for next week's episode. Thank you.